Now that I've finished my piano video, I wanted to kind of show the behind the scenes of how to actually practice Animenz and just piano in general and my philosophy. So recently I watched the Chainsaw Man movie twice actually, and bro, both times the pool scene got me going crazy. I don't know how Chainsaw Man can make me feel those kind of emotions, but that shit was beautiful, man. All right, well, I don't know why this is so low quality, but when I heard Animenz's cover for the first time, I've just been thinking about this part recently, so I'm gonna try to learn it. I was practicing actually for like maybe 30 minutes earlier, and I decided maybe I should just like show this process if anyone's interested. So just listen to this. Man, I'm feeling a certain way when I hear that. So he goes crazy later too, like bow, wow, bow, 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 bow. But I'm just gonna try to fill in the beginning part here, because this already seems hard enough. Like look at the right hand here. Ooh, okay. So off the bat, I'm already seeing new things. I wasn't really watching the video. But anyways, let's just get into the practice. All right, so the setup's kind of scuffed, but whatever. I'm just going to try to my best here. Maybe I'll put like the sheet music in front here so you can look at it. So this section right here is what I'm trying to learn. Looks kind of crazy if you just like look at the notes, and it is kind of crazy. But just from like spending a little bit of time, like I'm able to pick apart each section pretty well. Piano's all just about getting the little things right and then putting it all together and then eventually able to play the entire thing. Right off the bat, we can see this left hand here. It's a mixture of these 16th notes and the triplet 16th notes. I don't even know what they're called, but they're just kind of arpeggios. Like this is also, there's 4 sharps here, so keep that in mind if you're trying to learn it. But when you're actually trying to learn this, you should start practicing each hand separately. Like if you try to learn this thing, both hands at the same time with full speed, with full dynamics, you're never gonna learn it. But if you start slowly, you'll eventually be able to get better and then play it all together. So the first measure right here, the right hand's pretty simple. It might look a little scary with these like chords right here, but it's really just an octave with like the triad in the middle. Like in reality, it's just the simple note melody in octaves. Like you can get rid of the triads for now, and it's just G. So that's the first level. And if anything, if you can't play Animenz version, you could just pick apart just that. And then the next level you can practice is octaves. So you can go something like, and then you can also add the chords in there. So you can try to like use rote memory to learn the chords, or you can like try to understand in the chords, because this entire left hand here, when we get there, it's just arpeggios, which is just the same notes up the octave, right? If we look at the left hand now, this left hand looks a little scary. Like this 8 right here means play an octave lower, 8 notes down. So this A actually is the lowest note on my piano. I think it's on all pianos, the 88 key pianos, all the way down here. But once again, Animenz is adding the flavor with all the arpeggios, but if you just want to play it like the simple version, the left hand is an A, which is a dominant 7, whatever, but instead of the A up here, it's a G sharp. Maybe I should lower the mic so you can see it actually. So that's an A major, so that's an A majored 7. And that's the entire thing. So it starts down here, and then it goes. Right, so it's the same notes. Once you understand that, it's the same thing for the F and the bottom, so, right? Usually the bass note is the chord that's gonna be played, so this is F sharp major, this is F sharp minor. So this part down here, it goes F sharp, C sharp, E, A. So actually, once again, it's a F sharp minor 7 or something like that. But even though they don't play every single note of this, he just chooses some of the notes in that scale to make it go up and down. If anything, you can also just play it in place, like, and then you can also just play the right hand, the easier version too. So a simple version of this arrangement could be something like this. Instead of arpeggiating it, you can just play as a chord. If you take the left hand here and just turn these into 2 notes, one for each of these chords. The first half would just be this A minor 7, and then this one would be this F minor 7. And then you could play that. Like, and the EF. But if you want to make it sound nicer, you can also go the next level. Instead of playing the chord all in one note, you can separate it to, and also add like an octave instead of a, so it sounds something like this. And then the Animenz version is the next level on top of that, where it's the chords and then the arpeggios and all of that. And that's what I think sounds cool. So that's why I want to learn it and practice that. And also, I've played other Animenz stuff. I've gotten to this level before, so I know I can play this just with enough practice. So I wouldn't say try to learn this arrangement if you want to learn these kind of songs, but you can definitely just learn easier arrangements. And the easier arrangements are just like what I showed. Like, they could be very easy, just one chord on the left and then single notes on the right, and then eventually with octaves and then like different rhythms of this kind of thing. So how do you actually practice Animenz's version, right? Something you could try doing, which I would recommend, is practicing it separately. And for the fast parts, practicing it in different rhythms and different dynamics. So for example, to just show my process, right? The right hand would look like this. Like if I'm practicing it, play it slowly, make sure I get all the notes right. And it's not that difficult for me, so I don't really need to practice it that much more. For the left hand, I definitely need to practice. So for the left hand, requires some classical technique. To practice that, I just would first start just learning all the notes, learning how it feels just a little bit, and figuring out the fingering. So it would look something like... So I'm not even worried about the tempo or getting it to feel correct. It's just getting the notes correct. Make sure you can play all of them correctly. Even that little crossover with the left hand, just make sure you start to build that muscle memory correctly. And then once you can do that without any mistakes, you want to start playing it in tempo, but slowly. So very slow tempo. You can use a metronome for this, and I would recommend, but I'm just gonna play it for now. So something like... Even though it's not fully correct, I can fix that later. And if anything, at this stage is where you want to listen to his performance or correct performance and slow it down on YouTube, like 0.25 speed, and just understand how the rhythm should sound. And if you're having trouble with the fingerings, I'll go into that in the next section. So this next section right here is pretty difficult. And if you look at this right hand right here, this whole thing, there's like a lot of notes, but in reality, if you spend the time to look at each note and what they actually are, once again, it's just the same notes. Look at this rightmost. This rightmost in this one is the same thing, just one octave higher actually. If I'm gonna read out the notes, it's B, G sharp, E, D sharp. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it's the same thing. B, G sharp, E, D sharp. Okay, so if you look at this one, it's actually B, G sharp, E, D sharp, B, G sharp, E, D sharp. In reality, it's actually the same pattern all the way down. And once you figure out the fingering there, you can practice it slowly and then learn how to play it. And I actually didn't know the fingering, so I'm gonna actually learn it right now. So he goes pinky, ring finger, middle finger, and then he goes like a thumb crossover. You can use like comma and period to go frame by frame here. I'm just gonna practice that slowly and try to get all the notes correct. And if you're having trouble with like the crossovers, something you can try to do that I learned was play it in like 4 different styles. First, play it in legato, so all the notes are connected, like. And if you make a mistake, slow down. So if I go slower. The tempo doesn't need to be perfect right now. It's okay to slow down. Second one is staccato, so like short and disconnected. Right, and then another thing, which is really good for like these like crossover finger wrist movements, is like playing it with like a swing, like they call it short long. So it looks something like, right, another way around, like long short. And then just practice those multiple times slowly and try to pick up the speed like later, once you can play it fine and you get comfortable with it. So all that practice might seem like it takes a while, but if you're trying to learn the song, like this is the fastest way I found where you can learn sections very, very quickly. If you just spend some dedicated time and intentional practice on like the mistakes you're making. If we come back from this run at the end and go to the beginning of the second measure, right? It starts off with this E at the bottom, and then once again, these notes are like all pretty similar. It's B, E, G sharp, B, D sharp, G sharp. So it's like the kind of the same notes. So that's this first single beat right here. And then the next part is, I think, the same notes. So it would look like... And it might look fast and all that, but these are all in place. So you don't actually have to do much movement, which makes it really easy if you get the fingerings on the right notes. You just move ba 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 ba, and then ba 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 ba. So if you put that all together, and I just practice it right now. Right, so slowly get all the notes right and start being comfortable putting each section together. I'll practice it with the different techniques and maybe we'll play it continuously. Even here, like, I'm getting my right hand ready here and building the muscle memory of where my right hand should be before it's even there. So while I'm focusing on the left hand, I can have my right hand ready. And when I'm playing my right hand, since it's already there, I don't have to think about it, and I can think about where to move my left hand to, which is this E right here. Most of this is just building the muscle memory so that you don't have to spend mental energy on where to move your hands to, and just get comfortable with it. So that's the first 4 like arpeggios right here. And then we can start getting into the second half right here. So once again, it's like the same notes, E, B, D sharp right here, and then B, D sharp right here. So it'll look like... So that's the first half of this run. And then I was practicing the second half right here. So now, once I get both sections ready, I can try to play the entire thing. But there's no point in practicing from the beginning here, from the start of the measure, because you're never gonna practice the second half if like all your energy's in the first half. So even in the same measure, practicing each section where you know how to play it is important to balance the practice out. I'm just gonna try to practice this section right here. So even that little hesitation there, I don't know where to put my right hand next. I would go back now to try to practice getting comfortable with that transition until I get it. I actually added an extra note right here, so gotta fix that. But if you know like the music theory and the arpeggios, it doesn't really even matter if you make a mistake like that because it sounds correct. You don't have to be 100% to Animenz's arrangement. So something I noticed right here is like this B is on the same note. So after this B, I just play this left hand and then I can go right into this next section and then I can get ready for this E, B done. So yeah, I'm just gonna practice this a couple times through and see if I can play the entire thing slowly without mistakes, at least on the note. So I'm still making mistakes on the second half, and it's tempting to just go back to the beginning and be like, oh, I have to go back to the beginning and practice this entire thing. But it's harder to fix your mistakes if you're not intentional about it. And you start from the beginning, you have to think about the beginning, and you're wasting time also. So I'm making a mistake over here on this run. When I go down, sometimes I'm not hitting the right note. I'm also hesitating right here because I don't know where to go. So instead of starting from the first notes, I can start on this octave higher and just like practice that. And once again, I'm hesitating right here on this left hand, so I could just start from right here instead and try to polish the mistake. And now that I play that without mistakes, I could try to put it all together and see if I have the muscle memory. Now I can play all the notes without mistakes. And it's still not that comfortable yet, but that comes with time. And also when you sleep and you wake up in the morning, for some reason, I say for some reason, but there's like scientific studies on like sleep making you better. So getting good sleep and drinking water. And now that I can play that with the notes, I can start to think, okay, the tempo, how does the tempo sound? So we can take a look at the song and how it sounds like. You can read it here, but I think it's easier just to listen to it. So clearly the second half of that run is faster than the first half. You listen to it again. So that part's like ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba, and then this part's ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. And also he's not doing as much like crossing over, so I gotta figure out those. I can practice the second section more, but also let's go back to the first section. If I can play the first section together, maybe I can play the entire thing, at least the notes correctly. So let's try to do that. So I can play the left and right hand now. So let's try to put them together, but like slower and just be intentional about playing the correct notes for now. So I'm getting tripped up on this last note right here. It sounds a little off if you don't play the entire thing together. So that's why it sounds wrong to me, but it's actually correct. Also, something to note is that I'm trying to play the triplets. If you look at this note right here, this E is together with these 3 notes, this E is together with these 3 notes. For the other parts, it's 16th notes. So this one whole note is this 8th note plus these 2 16th notes together. This F sharp right here is with these 2 notes together. And then the triplets are a little different. So I'm trying to practice at least getting the rhythm correctly here. And here I'm just noticing that this A and this G sharp are together as well. So something to build. So that's the first half of this measure, and the second half of this measure would look like this. So yeah, since I was making mistakes, slow down, try to get it together, get the tempo correct, and just gonna practice a couple more times and then try to put it together here. So it's starting to come together. You can probably hear it now. Still a little shaky, but another thing to note is something I like to do is when you practice this first measure, let's say, don't just end on this last note, practice the transition into the next section too. Because otherwise you're gonna have practice where each section is perfect, but then in between there's a little bit of hesitation and it just brings you out of the music, at least as a listener. Yeah, I'm not trying to play it perfect or anything, but I'm trying to get the feel of the music correct right now. Now that I can play the notes, even though like that last time I played it, I didn't even play these notes together, but I'm trying to keep the right hand rhythm now at least to sound like ba 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 instead of bum 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 bum. You want the melody at least to sound correct. And in reality, when you're playing music, like the notes matter less than the feel and the rhythm, as long as it's in like the same key. And I'm gonna try to put everything together for now and see how it goes. So it's starting to come together, and I've already been doing this for like an hour now, so making some good progress. You want an entire song, this is why it takes months for me. But even all this practice, right? All this practice for these 2 measures directly translates over to this next section right here. This next section right here is exactly the same rhythm if you look at 1-to-1. If anything, this first measure is exactly the same, except like the right hand right here is slightly different on this last note. And the second half of the measure is actually the exact same. So the only thing that changes is it goes from this on the first time right here, and the second time it goes to, right? So practicing these 2 measures right here, just you learn the second part right here for free. And if you look at like sections of the song right here, like let's say you learn this one part and you can play it slowly and correctly. You don't have to learn each of these individually. You learn this section basically once you get the pattern down. Same thing right here, it changes a little bit. Instead of 1 2 3 1 2 3, it goes up 1 2 3 up down down instead of down up. And same thing after here, you can notice this looks the same, this looks the same. So I'm just gonna practice it a couple more times and that'll probably be the end of the video. Just wanted to show what learning Animenz actually looks like behind the scenes if anyone's interested, and who knows, maybe you guys will find it helpful. I'm just gonna give it a couple more attempts. Right now, for the video, I'm just trying to play it so it sounds relatively okay. And honestly, that's fine. But you need to have intentional practice. And most of your practice should be the slow, intentional practice. And eventually you can try to play and practice as if you're performing. That's also important, right? You want to practice the feel, the dynamics, the tempo, make sure it sounds good. But you have to have the fundamentals of the section down before you can start doing that. And you might make a couple mistakes while you're doing that, but that's okay. Probably spend some time later to figure out the fingering because this is not that clean right now. Still making mistakes, but good enough for now. So I'm gonna try to actually put the 2 together and just practice that a little bit. So getting the tempo down a little bit, and maybe I can put it all together, we'll see. Something now is I'm trying to internalize it so I don't need to look at the sheet music every time. So just try to feel it out and have the muscle memory of where I should put my hands. That's very important. So you don't have to keep looking up, especially on these parts where you have to move your hands to specific sections. Like here where it's like, just being able to do that without even thinking about it is the goal. So here's what I know. I'll have to eventually figure this out because this right hand over here is the limiting factor in the speed of this right now. So I gotta figure that out. I'll do it right now, actually. I think I figured it out. So I've been doing this like weird crossover thing where I use my thumb like 4 different times, but you can actually just cross over once. So there's pinky on the right on the B. You have ring finger, middle finger, index finger, thumb. So all 5 fingers. And then you cross over with the ring finger. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the crossover. And then the ring finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So it looked like. And that's not that comfortable for me, so I'll have to do the whole thing a short long just to build a muscle memory. Yeah, that feels so much better. And that's why fingering is so important, because I was making so many mistakes, and I'm sure with enough practice, it could be pretty simple. So yeah, it's the same shape, just twice in different octaves. So it's starting to feel a little more comfortable now. So try to incorporate the left hand again. It's starting to come together. The second measure still needs some work, a little bit more. I do want to actually be able to play at least one time through, and then eventually I'll have to practice just remembering to put this one note after that. Yeah, that's how you learn a section of Animenz in one day. So this will probably be the end of the video. I'll just practice it and then try to get one take where it sounds okay, and just close off this section. Dang, it's already been an hour 20 of this. All right.